The following episode contains sensitive topic information that may not be appropriate for young listeners, as well as religious or other views that may not reflect those of the Sirens team.
We are going to do some investigation tonight. Y'all don't want to miss this one right here.
No, you don't.
This Ouija board was donated here. Supposedly there's a serial killer in prison now in New York. He used that board to pick out his victims, which were black prostitutes.
I got one that I brought here and I donated it to the shrine. It was donated to a guy, one of my good friends, and it come from New York. It was a serial killer up in New York. His name was Nathaniel White. The guy's still in prison this day.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to all our listeners. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Lindsay. How are y'all doing? This is Rhonda for the Sirens team. We are excited tonight. We've got a special guest for you that we know you're going to love. So, anybody got anything else to add before we bring him on stage?
No, I'm just excited to get started, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
It'll be a really cool episode.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Like I said, these are guys, met a lot of guys at the Smoky Mountain Terror. Jimmy Ricker's one of the guys with Outlaw Paranormal. They've been 21 years investigating, got a lot of experience, got a lot of knowledge. So we're excited to have him on. So I know he's eager to get started too. So
yeah. All right. Let's bring him on.
Drum roll. No, I'm kidding.
I can't do a good drum roll. Hi, Jimmy. Welcome.
Hello, guys. Thank you all for bringing me into y'all's podcast here.
Well, thank you for being willing to come on the podcast. And Ryan told us a little bit of your background, but we want to hear more from you about, how Outlaw Paranormal got started and all. But first, tell us a little bit about what's going on behind you.
Oh, man. Let me tell you. One of my friends, he built this coffin for one of his family members. And they would not let him use it because his family didn't like the color of it. And so instead of using this one, he built another one. And now I ended up getting the coffin in my bedroom.
Okay.
So, and I got a grandson. I start looking for him. I'm like, where's my grandson at? He's up in the coffin asleep a lot of times.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to be a little weird like his grandpa is here, I believe. So
That's fine.
Yeah, that's
character.
Yeah. And you keep what in the coffin?
I keep some of my haunted items I got. I got a couple different haunted items that means a lot to me that I actually keep in here, and some that I do not want around people. Mm-hmm. And they are in this coffin in a safe spot in my room.
Okay.
I'm
just trying to think about how I would go to sleep with haunted items in my room.
Well, I mean, just lay down, close your eyes.
Yeah. It's just old news, right?
I mean, I get calls all the time from people and like, man, I got this haunted item. You need to come and get it.
They want you to take it away, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, some people believe stuff can be haunted. Some people don't. And if it is, it is. If it ain't, so I bring it home, put it with my other items I got. And if something happens, it does.
So have you had weird things happen after you brought an item home? Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, I have Jeff, my teammate, his ex-wife. Actually, we was doing a podcast and she brought one of my dolls down here and the podcast shut down. And they called me and was like, man, you got to get Lucy back upstairs. Everything flying off the shelves and everything. And so I took Lucy. They got her, took her back upstairs. And Brittany, actually got her hair pulled and her head went straight back.
Oh my gosh.
So because she got mad for Lucy had her own bedroom upstairs. She was the only one. She was like a 14-year-old girl that got unalived in a park by a bunch of boys. And she's got an anger problem. And she don't trust a lot of people. So, and I don't usually let her around a lot of people either.
What is what is Lucy? Is it a doll? Is it I mean, what is the actual item?
If you don't care, I'll show it to you.
Okay. Ooh.
I mean, I don't blame her. I'd probably be pretty pissed too, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh.
This is actually Lucy.
Okay. Hey, Lucy.
And I mean, this might sound crazy to some people. I mean, I know anybody that does this paranormal, we have to be a little crazy anyway, staying up all night in the haunted locations and stuff. But I feel safe. I got a pit bull. I feel safer with Lucy here at my house than my pit bull here at my house. I feel like Lucy's protecting me than my dog is.
Yeah.
So,
well,
the way I feel about her, I feel like something would come off her and hurt you before you get to me.
Yeah. Well, hey, I might need to consider getting me a haunted object because my dog is not a guard dog. He's friends with everybody.
And a lot of people think a lot of the all paranormal, all the haunted items is bad and stuff. And yes, I'm a believer in the Lord. And a lot of people said, how can you do ghost hunting and believe in the Lord? What was the two things that come up and talk to the Lord to Jesus on the mountain up there? It was a spirit. So
that's true. Yeah, the Bible has a lot to say about spirits. As a matter of fact. Now, Jimmy, you mentioned your partner, Jeffrey Ward. So you guys, were y'all friends before you kind of started this paranormal team?
Actually, he was on a different team than I was. I mean, he was on a team and quit this team that I ended up joining before we started Outlaw together. So we met off of a old team that we was on.
Okay. And how long have y'all been doing Outlaw Paranormal? Just the two of you?
Well, actually, that was three of us that started, and we've been doing it 4 years now.
Okay.
But I've been doing the paranormal since about 21, 22 years now.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, and I know you're married, right? So what's your wife think about? Oh, you're not. Okay. No. I thought you were.
No, I just got a girlfriend.
Okay. What's she think about it?
She don't. Well, she got her own room. I got my own room. And like when I go places, she calls me and she said, "You cannot bring these haunted items back here at the house because they won't aggravate me. They do her."
Yeah. Gotcha.
And at night, she can hear stuff walking in here, stuff coming in there, sitting on the bed with her, and
oh no.
Yeah, they won't mess with me.
To sleep in the room with the coffin than the room without the coffin itself.
Yeah.
She won't hardly walk in this room.
Okay, gotcha. We know people like that too. That would be apprehensive.
I mean, we all go end up in one of these. I mean, we might. So I mean,
yeah, true.
Most people probably.
Yeah, most people probably.
So
now I want to give Ron and Lindsay a chance for some questions and stuff, but I have to ask you, how did y'all come up with the name Outlaw Paranormal? That's pretty unique. I like it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I actually, I've always been called an outlaw. I do crazy stuff. There's a guy, Russell DeGroat, one of my best friends, and then Mike Denny out of Ohio. We used to, I used to drive full-size cars, and then I broke my neck and broke my back. So I had to go to smaller cars that runs on weed eater motors. And we become a team as Team Outlaw.
Okay.
So then when we started Outlaw Paranormal up, I was like, man, I want to bring the Outlaw name with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we ended up with Outlaw Paranormal.
It's a
Yeah,
cool name.
yeah, the logo is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm into a lot, like I said, a lot of stuff. I'm with music artist Kevin Palmer, been doing a lot of music videos with him. We actually done one that's getting ready to be released too, that's with Leland Chapman, Dog the Bounty Hunter's son.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Now, are you a musician or?
Oh man, I can't carry a tune in a bucket.
Okay, well, tell us how you're involved in the music videos.
Well, actually, we had I have known a lot of people. I was in a music video with Wade Jennings, Willen Jennings' grandson.
Uh-huh.
Sam Hunt. I was in one of his music videos down in Brushy Mountain State Prison.
Uh-huh.
And Jeff Anderson, Afro Man, if y'all remember Afro Man. But I started getting in them, and I started meeting different people doing the Outlaw Paranormal and doing events. We had a Bigfoot festival down in Morristown. I met Kevin Palmer through there, and I started doing videos with Kevin, and me and Kevin become best friends. And actually, he does a lot of ghost hunting with me, and I go up Missouri, and we do stuff together up at Missouri.
Okay, neat. That's neat. I have one of my best friends lives. She's from Owensville, Missouri, that rural area up there.
Yes.
So you're actually in the videos, like he uses you in the videos. That's cool. We'll have to look for some of those, definitely.
Yeah, out of Sam Hunt's video, there was about 600 people in there.
Uh-huh.
I'm in there twice, so I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam Hunt's big.
Yep.
Big name. Well, Ryan and Lindsay, I want to give y'all, I'm itching to ask a bunch of questions, but I don't want to just take over. Ron, I know you had some questions. We were talking beforehand. You had some interesting stuff you were going to ask.
Yeah, we talked the other day. I liked your take on the how to open up the means of communication with the spirits, whether it be a Ouija board, a spirit box, things like that. How did you come along with that conclusion? I mean, was there a particular event that kind of said, "Hey, these match; these are pretty much the same thing," or how did that come about?
All right. I hear a lot of people talks about, oh man, I won't never touch a Ouija board. Ouija board scares me. I've done this with the Ouija board and this happened. And all right, there's phone apps you get on your phone. Mm-hmm. And you sit here and say, hey, is there so-and-so spirits here? Can you tell me your name? There ain't no difference in using a K2 meter as a spirit. Any device you use ain't no different than a Ouija board, because you're using that as a tool to communicate to the other side. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I just sit back and listen and watch and stuff, and I'm like, man, what's these people thinking? Because they using this tool. Why is this tool so bad? I mean, why is one tool bad as another tool?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. And actually, if people would do a research on a Ouija board, it was actually considered as a love board before it got the bad name as a Ouija board.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Not to hope. I know probably somebody's going to ask. I'll go ahead and jump in. You said you've been involved in the paranormal for about 21, 22 years.
Yeah.
Was this something you've been interested your whole life, or was there an event or something that caused you to dig deeper to actually get you into this lifestyle?
Well, I don't know. I guess you want to say my great granny was more or less like a black witch. My grandma was kind of witchy, black witch. My mom's always been into seeing stuff, feeling stuff, telling you what's going to happen and all this. And so it just hit me. I can walk in somebody's house, My ex-teammate, I walked in her house, told her what a woman was laying at when she passed away, told her name, what she looked like. And I had done that to a couple people, and I was like, man, get out of here, be quiet, go on. So, and didn't even know. And when I go to haunted location, everybody's like, man, you got to research these places. I said, I don't want to know nothing. I want to go in there knowing nothing, see what comes to me.
Yeah. Wow. So when you went to the house and saw, and you told the woman like where the person was lying when they died, did that just like come to your mind in that moment?
The other team that I was with, they was like, okay, we heard Jimmy has gifts. Let's try him out. So they took me to her house and was like, walk through here and see if you feel anything in her house. So I started walking through her house, and I was like, nope, it's not in this room. I said, where's the bedroom at? She said, right back here. So I went in the bedroom. I said, she died right here. They put her up on the bed, and right when she was dying, I told them she was drinking like a like a Sprite. It's the other one for a Sprite. But I told them what she was drinking and everything, what the woman looked like. And Gina was like, stop. That's enough.
Yeah. Did you have like, some of those gifts when you were young, like as a boy?
I had it all my life.
Wow.
And I mean, my daughter, she's 21 now, my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter, she's got the gifts of hearing stuff, but she ain't got the gifts of seeing it. My youngest daughter, she's got more gifts than I got, but she won't use them because she thinks people gonna make fun of her. And that's the way I was growing up. I mean, we live in a Bible Belt here. And you tell people you see this and that, first thing they're gonna do is put you in Woodridge.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I was scared to tell anybody, but my mom knew what was going on. And I'd go to bed crying at night. I was like, man, God, why do I have this gift? I don't want it. Leave me alone. So, and it's just something I've been stuck with all my life.
Yeah. And I guess having, your mom and your grandma and knowing that, they wouldn't think you were weird, and helped you to get through that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I was raised up in an undenomination church, and we have actually been around and done a lot of like casting out demons and people, houses and stuff like that. And I mean, I actually had to do one myself a couple years ago up in Jonesboro, Tennessee. And I got a text on my phone. The lady, after I done it, she said, thank you for doing it. The kids are sleeping in their bed. Everything's peaceful. I mean, they tickle to death now.
Wow.
So, I mean, we don't only just go out here on Friday, Saturday night, during the weeks or whatever, and ghost hunt. We actually go out here, and I mean, it's like a firefighter. I put my life on the line, help kids and other people out to enjoy themselves at home.
Wow. Gotcha.
So, and a lot of paranormal teams don't do that. They'll just go out just to have the fun of going out and investigating.
The experience. Yeah.
Right. So tell us a little bit about how do you choose a location, or does it choose you?
Sometimes it chooses me, and sometimes I'm like, I mean, we decide to go, and when we go, there's been locations like the Thomas House. It calls you back. I mean, it just wants you to come back. And Old College Hill. I mean, I can't get enough of these places.
Right.
There's been some locations that I went and I ain't going back there.
Now, why is that? Was there just it wasn't active, or?
Well, I mean, I can't say it wasn't, because I've always said ghost hunting's like fishing. You don't never know when you go catch something, so you can't say that lake is bad.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, I just myself didn't enjoy the place, but
Lindsay and I have a place like that keeps calling us back. It's the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum
I
in
have been there.
West Virginia. Have you?
Yes,
What did you think about it?
I love the place.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very interesting place, and actually, Jeff and myself, we was up there, and we had all of our equipment with us, and it was just like one of them nights that you was fishing and nothing went by.
Mm-hmm.
So we cut all what we walked away from all of our equipment and went upstairs to the wooden hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And just me and him, no equipment, no nothing, and we got more activity by using no equipment than we did having equipment with us. No cameras, no flashlights, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's wild.
Sometimes I wonder if places like that where a lot of, people go to investigate, I wonder if there are spirits there, if they just kind of like feel exploited or something. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you come into my house. Why are you bringing your camcorder to my house for?
Yeah.
So actually, we got these anymore. Like places like that, we don't want to use camcorder. We got cop cams,
Oh,
and you just click on your shirt and walk around with it. And if you do catch evidence, then then you got it on your cop cam.
yeah. Well, tell us a little bit more about like how you approach an investigation and what equipment you take and use.
Man, I take everything, even the duct tape. uh, I bought a set of rope lights the other day. We take it. We take K2s, REM pods. My best thing is probably a voice recorder. I mean, we got one, but I used to use them a lot, but it's hard to go back and listen to all the stuff on the voice recorder. Video cameras. My favorite one is a cat ball because equipment you can manipulate. You can make a REM pod go off, K2 meter go off by cell phones, by walkie talkies, and cat balls. The only way you can make them go off is moving them or vibrations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far as all the other equipment, when I first started, all we had was a K2 meter, a voice recorder, and a camera. We didn't have all this other new devices we got now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's more than we have.
And actually, I make the music boxes.
Oh, cool.
So
You take those with you?
yes, we take them on investigations with us. Let me cut this one on here. And when something walks by in front of it, it sets it off.
Oh, okay. Do you get a lot of, do you get a lot of spirit interest in that? Music box?
Sometimes you do. We was down at Fayetteville, Tennessee at a haunted, abandoned medical building. That's how I can say it.
Okay.
And I had two different ones set out, and they kept on going off.
Wow.
All night long. And so, but that was probably the most we had with the music boxes.
Okay. So how many people are usually on an investigation with you? Is it just you and Jeff, or is it more people?
Some nights it's just 99.9% of the time, we need a station wagon with a U-Haul behind it to pack the people that go on with us.
Wow.
But now, Jeff and I, we go places, but we like bringing other people along with us. And Jeff, he ain't much of a talker. He sits back and let me. I guess I'm the big mouth, and I try to get him involved more. I'm like, Jeff, you need to open up more. You need to start speaking and start talking. I said, I don't want to do it all myself. He said, no, you fine. He's just there for the ride.
Yeah.
So, but we always have a good time. We do a lot of stuff with the Paranormal Trio, and they actually a new team that started up about a year ago, and we met them actually in the cemetery.
Wow.
We was actually doing the second Bigfoot festival, and we had that cemetery down in Morristown that we was doing, and we went over there and we met them and become really good friends ever since.
Are you talking about the cemetery, Bathsheba, that has the witch? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. The Civil War cemetery.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. It's some freaky stuff.
Well,
sometimes
we was there during the day. We had Adam from the Bigfoot show. He was there with us. We was making a commercial to put on Facebook, and we was doing the commercial. And after we got done, Josh sent me the video, and he said, "Did you hear the church bells going off in the video?" No. And actually, those church bells sound like going off while we was doing the video. And there ain't really no church that close to around there for the bells to be going off.
Now, the church there doesn't have a bell, and I've been there. I've seen shadows and like dark figures. Lisa knew somebody that got scratched, and then we had like some of the phone, voice recorders and things. And sometimes they do some pretty weird stuff. You say something, you get a direct answer that's like super responsive. And she got a couple of things like that. So, I mean, it's hit or miss. But the coolest thing I think we've seen is like when we pulled up and right across from her grave over near the tree line over to the right.
Yep.
There was like a dark shadow. It wasn't a shadow. It's just like a dark figure just standing there. And then we watch it and just like disappeared. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. The guy that actually run the cemetery, he come in and unlocked the building for us. So we got to do that building inside, and it was cool doing it. That was the first time I got to do that cemetery there.
How many investigations would you estimate that you've done over the years?
Well, we used to do before, like I said, Outlaw. We didn't really promote ourselves, and we get out and do houses. That's more like what we done. And we was like somebody called us, we go out and do houses. But now since we done been with Outlaw, couple hundreds.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you, it runs into your billfold really quick too.
I'd say it does. I'd say it does.
Danny, you know how much it costs to go there, and if you ain't got a big group there helping you go, then what is it, like $1,800 for Trans-Allegheny and more?
I'll tell you, it's pretty expensive. Lindsay and I did just for an overnight. It's like over $100 just to stay, there for an overnight, a person. But yeah, I could say all the traveling I would love to do, I'd say it would run into some money. And you said you've been as far as Missouri.
Yes, we've been to Missouri. I'm filming a movie down in Florida right now, and the next time I go down there, I'm gonna actually go down and do some investigating with the Soul Sisters down in Florida. They was up at Smoky Mountain Terra, walking around, meeting people. The Soul Sister was so great group of women.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's so cool.
Ohio, Michigan.
Okay.
I mean, I'm on the road almost 24/7.
Yeah. Wow. I was going to ask you if I guess keeps you away from home a lot. What's a favorite location around, your home there where you live in Tennessee?
My favorite location here, I've been a lot of places, and my number one spot is probably the old Greene County Jail. It's the oldest jail in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's open 24/7. You can walk in there. You can actually investigate. Actually, I'm going up there this weekend with a guy off the TV to do investigation with this weekend. And we going up there Saturday night. So, but it's wild in there. And I have took a lot of teams in there and introduced them to the jail. And I said, well, I'm going to go on, leave. 10, 15 minutes, they called me and said, hey, you going to have to get back up here. Said, it's spirit box and everything saying Jimmy, 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 Jimmy.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it seemed like I'm attached to that place, and whatever's up there is attached to me.
Yeah.
And my name, but I had a lot. I'm an outlaw. I had a lot of family members in that jail. I had a lot of broke out of that jail. So it's just it's a very great place. And then the Shrine up in Bristol, Tennessee. Rick, he's a great guy up there. He's the only one. If y'all know what bamboo is, that there is not no albino bamboo since the 1300s, and it was only in China.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only place since the 1300s that got albino bamboo.
Wow.
So
that's wild. Now, Lindsay doesn't live very far from Bristol, but I'd never heard of the Shrine. Tell us a little bit about what it actually is.
it's a private resident, but I mean, you got to know somebody to get in up there. And he's got a lot of stuff that people can't handle, that they donated it to it. He's got a witch's gate. Every belief is welcome up there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a portal table up there. You can go up there and sit around and do whatever you want to up there. We actually took Marge, this 86-year-old lady up there, Marge in Charge. I don't know if y'all ever heard of her.
No.
We took her up there, and she sat at the end of the table, and she said, man, I feel at peace up here. So it just ain't only for whatever you want to say. It makes you feel good. I mean, you feel relief when you're up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
guess especially since you said, everything's accepted.
Yeah. And we took D'Angelo William and Gary Burkhart, two NFL football players up there, and done a show up there with them up there at one time. And it's something y'all just have to look up on YouTube. Type in your Shrine, U-R-E, I believe how it's spelled, Shrine.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely look that up. And you said you've got you're going to be on a TV show coming up, right?
Yes, it should be aired out Thursday.
Oh, cool.
And
Wow.
Shane Austin is one that's in it. And actually, that's who I'm going to be with investigating this weekend too.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of it?
I don't even know the name of it. I mean, I just went up there. They called me and said, hey, you want to be interviewed for this show? I mean, I don't know if it's on that link I sent you all.
Okay.
And Shane Pittman's going to be on it.
Yeah, we'll definitely find it and share it with our listeners. Yeah, on our socials for sure.
Then there's a couple other ones that's actually on YouTube that when we done with the football players, Gary Burkhart and D'Angelo Williams, is actually a big thing. They are doing like a TV show, The Skeptics, what it's called, and it's on YouTube.
Okay. That's cool.
I like that because that is cool. That's really cool.
Go ahead, Lindsay. I know you want to ask.
No, I don't have a Facebook or anything. So Ryan had sent us a couple pictures the other night, and they're there's one picture, and I think it's of you, where you can see like hands on your shoulders. Can you tell us about that?
That's up at the shrine. That's in
Yeah.
Bristol, Tennessee. And we was up there actually with the football players doing the video, and I stood at the end of the table and was wanting a picture taken. And I felt like something was on me, but I couldn't tell it. And I didn't know until we got back and was looking at the picture, and somebody says, "You see these hands on you?"
Yeah.
And if you look at the table, the portal table there's dragons that's going in and out of the table,
Mm-hmm.
and the tail of the dragon looks like that. And that's what it looks like when it's on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'll overlay the picture in our video because it's probably one of the coolest ghost pictures I've seen recently. Because you can, like, it looks like there's hands on your shoulder. That's
Well, if you
so
look
cool.
around my waist, it's
Around
actually
your waist, yeah.
around me.
Yeah.
I saw that too. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
just felt like there was something there, so you're like, "Hey, somebody take a picture of me."
Yeah, I was like, man, take a picture. And we had our lights set up there, and everybody's like, man, that's Photoshop. No, that's not Photoshop. That's real stuff. I mean, up at the shrine, it's different.
Yeah.
And the shrine, when you go there, you better not disrespect the place. And there has been people that want to come to the shrine that never makes it there. And if you don't never make it there, there's a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so, and Rick's doing a lot of different things and adding a lot more stuff to it up there.
So he owns it. It's like his private residence.
Yes, he lives upstairs. He actually got a man-made cave that he set up there with a little hand shovel and dug it out, and it took him about 6 months to dig it out.
Oh my God.
It's got a hot tub in it. It's got a cold tub in it. So,
Nice. Sounds like a nice setup.
Yeah.
So he took man cave to like literally, and
he's got the man cave. This ain't no she shed. This is a man cave.
What would you say, Jimmy, is have you ever been on an investigation or just had an experience that stands out that's been really weird or scary or unusual?
Yeah, I mean, we was up at Old College Hill, and we was it was my team and the Ghost Sisters out of Ohio, and we done put up all of our equipment. We was getting ready to do a walkthrough tour of the hospital and make sure we got all of our equipment picked up. And the hospital actually cross in the middle of the floor. You can go right, left, straight through, or back the way we come.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got in the cross spot, there was a man standing right in my face, and it was a hat man. And that was the only time I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I mean, I was going backwards faster than I could go forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like a bowling ball knocking pins down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow.
And that was probably something that really got me because it was right there in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Was he saying anything or just standing?
He was just standing there.
Oh.
And it's just, actually, we seen him in Brushy Mountain. We got a picture of him in Brushy Mountain standing at the stage in Brushy Mountain.
Oh.
And so I have actually seen him real close twice.
You said the Hat Man?
Yes.
What's a little bit of a backstory about that for our listeners, and so we can understand exactly what that is?
Well, I understand the Hat Man. I mean, I don't know. I don't do researching on a lot of stuff. A lot of old buildings I don't do. I just go in it blindsided. But the Hat Man is more or less like the overtaker of all the spirits. He's supposed to be the main man over everything. And he's a king of the spirits.
And he like always has like a top hat,
Yes.
and like I've heard him described as wearing a long coat.
I will actually find the pictures that I got, and I will actually send them over to you
Yeah.
so you can add
Yeah.
them on if you want to add them on. And it's just something. It kind of reminds you of Abraham Lincoln.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he had the big hat on, looked like he has the big coat, and it's just something. I mean, it's creepy seeing him just standing there.
I've
And
heard a lot of stories about people and even children who've seen that Hat Man spirit. I didn't know though what you said about like he's kind of the overseer.
yeah, that's what I understand. He's supposed to be like the overseer of the spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And, but over the years, I can write something down on a piece of paper, make a notebook out of it or whatever, and then 100 years from now, then somebody see this notebook and say, "Hey, this is supposed to be Spirit John. He's over all these other spirits." So,
Yeah.
But he doesn't give off a good vibe, right?
no, he does not, and I don't like him, and I don't like being around him, and I can't say he's demonic, but I mean, I can't say he's good. I can't say he's bad because I'm not going myself. I don't want to really mess with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did the other people that were with you see him, or was it just you?
Oh yeah, Jeff seen him, and a couple other people seen him, and actually, like I said, when we was at Brushy, we got a real clear shot of him at Brushy Mountain, just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, holy crap.
Oh my gosh.
But
And
I will have to find that and send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to appear that close to you, like right in your face, I mean, that to me doesn't really give off the friendliest vibe,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, Rick. Well, I was told to about a different person that he could be following me around, like I'm gonna be carrying him on my shoulder, and then when we go to these locations that is very got enough energy where he can come out, because he's supposed to have a lot of energy before he shows himself or whatever, that where he's with me and we go in these locations with a lot of energy, that's when he appears.
Mm. That makes sense.
But get off my shoulder, suckers.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So
Yeah.
you've seen him a few times, and you sense things, you see things, and you can like have that sense. Does he try to tell you anything? Does he try to communicate? Because he's obviously trying to get your attention. If he's appearing in front of your face, he's like letting you know that he sees you. He's aware of your presence. So that itself is a statement.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just trying to, cause when I walked in these places before, it's just like, man, and I do not pray. I mean, I believe in the Lord, but when I go in these places, I do not pray, because I feel like if you pray before you go in these places, you put the shield on you not to see the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I walk in these places, I'm walking in that open arms, like, here, come get me. And so I don't know if he's just there trying to scare the crap out of me. And because anymore, it's just like, when I'm going to these places, I'm kind of very jumpy anymore, and I'm getting spooked easier than I don't know if it's old age or I know I can't run as quick as I used to. And last night we was actually at the Thomas house, and my buddy, my teammate Jeff, he actually took off and got out of the places before I did, and I'd be looking around, he'd be hid behind the wall and jump out, and I said, it ain't funny. Bad heart here.
Yeah.
That sounds like something you would do, Ryan.
I'm
He's
usually
like,
the one
yeah.
No
doing it.
comment. No comment. I've been known to scare a few hundred people.
A
Yeah.
few hundred, yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
usually the one that does that, but now it's backfiring. I'm the one getting scared.
Jimmy, is there a location that you haven't been to that you would really like to go to?
I'm gonna tell you that a lot of people got favorite locations. I mean, different places they want to go. I have like I done it 21 years. Uh, I'm not going to fly all the way to China and go over there and see the doll, whatever. I got a haunted
Yeah.
bedroom myself. But if somebody offered me to go places and stuff, I'd go. I'd might go anywhere.
Would you go to Graceland? Have you been there? I just have to ask you.
I have been to Graceland, but I ain't investigated it.
Yeah, I've been too. I'd love to investigate there. That'd be cool.
Well, I mean, it's. I ain't gonna say. The king is still alive.
Yep.
So you said you do exorcisms and stuff too. How do you determine what's real and what's not? I mean, because you get some people that maybe schizophrenia or some kind of mental disease. I mean, do you see anything extreme? Because a lot of times some of the movies are exaggerated, but when you see stuff in real life and you feel certain presences, it makes it real. So what is the moment that you determine, hey, this is a real situation, and when do you know you're actually in the presence of something?
Well, I mean, if somebody calls me and they've got small kids involved, no matter what I got on my schedule, that's the first thing I do. But most of the time, I tell them to, if they ain't got a trail cam or whatever, go out to Walmart, buy them a trail cam, set it up, get a couple good night footage. And I mean, I got people calling me from Missouri, Memphis, and said, "Oh, you got to come here, you got to come there." I said, "Get me some good footage first," but I I kind of watch their footage. If they do send me stuff that I see stuff, and sometimes you can see a little bug flying. Oh, you see that orb? Or now if I see chairs a moving and stuff flying off the tables, it's time for somebody to help that family out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had people call me, "Oh, I got Uncle Tom here, but he ain't hurting nothing. I just want you." I said, "What if it's something else? And if I come down there and it stirs it up and it gets worse?
Mm-hmm.
If he ain't bothering you, leave him alone. This is his house."
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's true.
yep. And I do not like going in there and trying to make one mad either. I like going in there. If you want to play Jailhouse Rock, let's jam out and dance together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are moving away from that antagonistic kind of ghost and investigation style. You know what I mean? And I think that's good because what's going to come of that? Not good things.
A lot of times we do, like when we go, like we went live last night when we went to the Promise House. But if I'm doing something at somebody's location, at say you call me and you got something back, I do not want to put this on TikTok, Facebook, or whatever. I want to keep this private for your privacy, because a lot of people anymore on TikTok and Facebook, they'll say the D word. Oh, they'll got 5,000 viewers watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I'm sorry. I don't care if I got one person, 10 people, but that needs to be took seriously,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot different from any other spirits that we dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't think when we go out here and ghost hunting, all this equipment that we got for ghost hunting is the same equipment we need for doing the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What advice would you give us if we're going to do an investigation? How would you tell us to kind of be open and draw something to us?
Jeff and I, a lot of times when we on our way there, we crank up the radio, we jam out, we have fun. We got energy going in.
Mm-hmm. Good energy, yeah.
Yes, and I mean that's what spirits works off, energy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go in there and just sitting down, kind of like you go to church and sitting on the back row, and it's kind of same.
Yeah.
You get nothing. You just there for the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that makes sense. That's good advice.
Go in there and hop right on the front row. And there's a lot of different things that, I mean, I was telling Ryan the other day when I talked to him, I mean, a lot of people don't understand about CB radios.
Yeah.
And I was raised up talking on CB radios too. And you got Skip that comes through sometimes that maybe California's coming in and you can talk to them. You might never talk to that guy again over in California. And what if that's how spirits is doing work? I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it could be coming in through an airwave and bringing them in, or they could pass this area at one time.
Yeah.
And we will never know the true meaning of paranormal. That's why we're doing it. And we would never know the true meaning until we pass away ourselves.
Yeah.
But when I do, I'm going to aggravate the crap out of everybody.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
You want to be like, man, I need somebody to cast this thing out of my house.
I feel sorry for Jeff. You're like, remember when you jumped out from behind that wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you tell Wayne, you'd be like, man, somebody told me that he's coming to your house, haunting your house.
Well, he'll be, you know where the campground is that he has now?
He told me he was buying one.
He's got one. It's right beside my house, and he's got a little store over there. So he's over there all the time. So I'll tell him that you'll come pay a visit to him.
Jimmy, I want to ask you, what do you think about residual energy? Like if a location had someone who died very violently, you know, a lot of people believe that is such negative energy that spirits get stuck or they just keep reliving something over and over again. I'm curious to know what you think about that.
Well, I mean, I think that spirits can get stuck in there, but I think a lot of these places that we go is stuff that other people brings in too.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, I mean, my grandpa could be stuck at this old hospital over here in Greenville or whatever, but I believe a lot of these TikTokers and Facebookers don't know what they're doing and bringing stuff in that don't need to be brought into places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's like going back to the question y'all asked earlier. We talked about, I don't like knowing stuff before I go in a place. That's because you go to this location and this is Sarah's room, this is Bobby's room. That's where people runs to, and you got 5 other empty rooms nobody ever investigated.
Yeah.
So I like going in not knowing nothing, but that's a good question though. But it's
I think that's a good approach, not to have like preconceived notions before you're going in, because, you know, even your own perspective can sway what you believe and think in that moment.
Okay, just like say if you go in I tell you to go in the Greene County Jail, I'll be like, Brian passed away in cell 2 downstairs, and that's the cell you run into every time you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. Yeah. I like going in different cells or different rooms. And when we went to Trans Allegheny, we found places that the owners probably don't even know there.
Yeah. Yeah. But yet they'll tell you you need to go to the room where the inmates killed their fellow roommate, or
Yeah.
they
But
have a Lily's room, where the child ghost is and all. Yeah.
I mean, they spirits, they traveling. Why can't they travel from one room to another room?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
So it's what we was talking about, kind of like airwaves coming through the airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree with you on like a lot of the stuff you're talking about, like TikTok and a lot of the people that start investigating. Because I'm a firm believer that if you start looking for something and you become visible to it, right, then maybe that might not be a thing you want. Because it's just like a biblical thing. If you draw nigh to me, I'll draw nigh to you. So be careful what you look for,
Yep.
because you might find it. One of the things growing up when I was doing it, I watched The Exorcist when I was 4. Woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there it was, full glory, like spinning head, the whole 9 yards, and I had nightmares for years. So I was a firm believer, like, hey, what, it scares me because I don't know anything about it.
Yes.
So I do a deep dive, basically half my life, to try to investigate stuff, and that's a rabbit hole you really don't want to go down, because it goes deep, and you're never going to find it. And you think it gets better, but it only gets worse.
Yep.
And then you start finding different branches and different things and different roots, and you're like, okay, that's enough. Because once you get so far, you become visible and attracted, and they see you. And then all of a sudden, that's when you start getting things negative, or bad things start happening, or you get an attachment.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So people need to be careful what they play with, because if they find what they're looking for, they might not like it.
I mean, that's like when we was growing up, Kiss and AC/DC. That was like, oh, don't, if you praying to the demon, devil, play. If you play them backwards, you can hear them. Man, if I sit here and I'm sitting here and putting everything I got into that song and worshiping that song, yeah, it's just like ghost hunting. You can maybe get whatever you want to off that song, but this world is gets out of hand anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said opinions was like something else, and everybody has one.
Yeah. We've heard that too.
And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and put my belief in something I know that ain't true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know spirits is true. I've been around it. I've seen it. I see stuff happening all the time. But it's something, when you deal with it all your childhood life and grow into it, it's something different.
And what I'm hearing too from you is, it's what you go into it with. Go into it with the right attitude and the right energy.
Yeah. Now, and like I said, we don't. I mean, if y'all go with us, if you all ever want to do a ghost hunt with us, if you all want to stand out in the parking lot and pray all night long, I'll pray with you. But I do not want to pray before I go in, because it's just like me going fishing without any bait.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna catch nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Makes
Now,
total sense.
Now, if you want to get out of the boat and pray after we get done, hey, let's get out and we get down on our knees and have Sunday school here.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the Thomas house a few times. Where is that, and what is that actually?
It's actually an old hotel built in 1890 by the Cloyds, and it burnt down, and they rebuilt it. And there was a little girl that passed away there. It's got like 4 different springs on the property that was supposed to be in Healing Springs. And then government ended up shutting the springs down, saying the water wasn't healing people and stuff. So then a little boy, Edward, drowned in the swimming pool there. And there has been people that passed away that wanted their ashes on the property. So, but it's in Red Bowling Springs, Tennessee.
Okay.
Not far from Nashville. And David and Cherry, great people. If you go there during the week and the weekends at Ghost Hunt weekends right there, it's like $55 a night. And it's very Ozzy Osbourne's son has been there.
Oh yeah.
So it's a very good place.
Okay. We're just kind of learning about all kinds of new places.
So do you have any more questions?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not off the top of my mind. I think a lot of the things that I was going to ask, Mom asked. So I'm like, okay,
sorry.
Mom. No, it's okay. I'm like, all right, well, that's perfect. That's what I was going to ask too.
Now, did y'all ever hear about the plane crash in Parrotsville back in the 1960s?
Huh.
I don't know.
That was a plane crash down in Cott County, Tennessee, back in 1960. And the Cott County Memorial Building, actually, the Ghost Brothers done a show down there, and we was the last team that ever investigated the place, and there was like 60 some people that burned up on the airplane, and they had to identify their bones and laid them on the gym floor and identified the bone. And I actually got some green peroxide from the building that they'll clean the bones with.
Oh wow.
Still some in it.
Oh.
You
have some very unique things in your
collection.
I
feel like I just want to do like a show and tell. Like all of the stuff that you have there.
Yeah.
Man, I got stuff all the way around this room in here. I mean, I got necklaces, hats.
You have like your own mini version of Ed and Lorraine's like haunted museum.
Yeah.
They put that stuff in their house.
I probably got more stuff than they got.
Really?
Now, how malevolent is some of your things? Is most of it pretty passive, or is some of it pretty bad?
Now, Sally, she gets out of hand every once in a while. Lucy, like I said, get out of hand. Now, I got one that I have not brought her downstairs yet. She's still upstairs. And a lady called me and said the grandma got it for the kid, birthday present alone, years and years ago. It's an older doll. It's about 3 foot tall. And she started telling me stories about the doll. And I went and got the doll. And since I have, my vision's been going bad on me. Different things been happening, and I've been thinking about taking her up to the shrine because I'm thinking she's doing a lot of stuff to me that she don't need to be doing. But I've been trying to kind of just working with her just a little.
Yeah.
So, but I ain't gonna bring her around my other stuff right yet.
Yeah.
So she's in her own lock and cage right now.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, do you have any other questions or?
I'm just intrigued. I love the fact.
I am too.
I love the coffin. I love the setup and design. I love the atmosphere that you're in. I like the way that you look at things because you're a realist. You know what I mean? I never really thought about the aspect as far as the Ouija board versus, even a CB radio or a spirit box. And then after our conversation, I said, yeah, it's exactly the same because they're just going off of different wavelengths, different frequencies. And then, you start talking about the haunted dolls and, me, I know how much my sister loves that type of stuff. So,
she doesn't, by the way. Don't listen to him.
Oh, well, let's see.
Let's show one for Val.
Yeah, y'all going to be shot. I mean, with a water gun.
Yeah.
This one right here, actually, if you remember the dude that played on the Dukes of Hazzard, Corey Duke, I got a video of him holding this doll, and I call it my little Corey Duke doll. And
what's the story behind it? What makes it part of your collection as far as your haunted dolls?
Well, the guy called me and told me that he has this doll that's been doing a lot of stuff, said it would giggle, he would just turn out lights and stuff. I ain't never had him do nothing yet. I mean, I can't say he has. I ain't. I mean, I'm never home.
My sister is a big Dukes of Hazzard fan. She might like that one.
This Marcellus, she actually come off of a guy. She was, if you type in haunted dolls on eBay, she was on YouTube, and she was actually on eBay for sale as being one of the most haunted dolls. And a lot of people, the guy that I got her off of, he said, whoever picks her up that she ain't used to, she got to give that person permission before they hold her.
Okay.
And she used to not like to be around other stuff, but now she in my collection with my other dolls. So then this is my favorite one, and everybody can tell you, and I'm gonna let you see her eyeballs right now. Her eyes is white. They would change from white to blue.
Eyes kind of messed me up. I've always believed, like how they say the eyes, the gateway to the soul. I always think there's somehow, I've always had a belief that you can transfer spirits and energy that way. So I might look for a second, but I never really like to play that. Hey, let's see who can stare in each other's eyes the longest. That always kind of messed with me for some reason. It always freaked me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we done a podcast and actually had her on it, and we was fixing to shut the podcast down. And her arm's real hard to pull down because she's an older doll. Mm-hmm. And I said, the guy I had sitting beside of me, I mean, he was 350 pounds and a big moonshiner. And I said, he couldn't even pull her arm down. I said, tell everybody bye. And she went, dropped her arm. And Big and said, I'm getting ready to make a door where doors ain't in your house. And he won't come around her no more.
Yeah. Well, you said something that segues into a question I wanted to ask about your new drinkable spirits. I want to make sure that we let our listeners in on this.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we started off at first with the blackcurrant. And when we come out with the label, it's with East Tennessee Distillery up in Piney Flats.
Uh-huh. That's a cool label.
I told them, I said, let's do it with, I'm all about bringing other people to the board. I mean, I want to help this one and that one out. So I said, let's put my team picture on this, the logo. So, and then our second paranormal label we come out, we put Marge in Charge on it. She's like 86 years old. She's an older lady. She's got Marge's mango. She's in a straitjacket. I don't have a bottle of that with me here.
That's so funny.
That's great.
And then our third label is caramel apple. And it's actually got my mugshot on. And I told everybody when we done the Smoky Mountain Terror, I said, yeah, they'll take a picture when I just got out of prison and put on the back. But no, I never been in prison, but I was just telling people. And we had that Smoky Mountain Tarot, and we sold out in less than a day and a half of this stuff right here.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I could go for some caramel apple. Yeah, I like
Well, like I told them people up there, I said, do y'all work day shift? Yeah. Do you drink coffee? Yeah. I said, your boss won't never know. You can put this in your coffee and drink it all day long.
There's an idea. Now, where can we buy it?
All right. Right now, the caramel apple is available through me or through East Tennessee Distillery in Piney Flats. And the black currant is in Rogersville, in Greenville, in stores in Piney Flats, and available through me. Or if I'm at a festival, I usually have a carload
Okay.
with me.
All right. What's your next festival?
Let's see. I'm actually Maggie Valley Hillbilly Jam.
Maggie Valley Hillbilly Jam. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, we'd be over with all the moonshiners and all of us be together over there.
That's Popcorn Sutton's old stomping grounds, isn't it?
Yes, and we actually done. We had 2 events going on the same weekend. We done Popcorn Sutton and Smoky Mountain Terra.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So that was a headache that weekend.
Yeah, I guess some weekends you're just nonstop.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you get out and meet a lot of good people.
Mm-hmm.
This is really good. This is a really awesome episode. Like I said, we'll coordinate with our advertisements this week and get out some of your, your outlaw spirits, drinks, and
Yeah.
some of the TV and some of your music and stuff that you guys are part of. And we'll try to help get some of that out. But yeah, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate y'all having us. And like I said, I'm into a little bit of everything. I help out at the distillery. They'll have concerts up there. I actually got to go backstage and hang out and done security with Quite Right, Faster Pussycats, Mini Kiss. That was so cool. I mean, being there with a bunch of little midgets and hanging out with them and the dressing room, though, sitting there putting their makeup on.
Uh-huh.
That one, I actually had to pick them up and put them on stage, and I was like, man, I'm gonna break them.
Oh.
I mean, I'm into everything. I got my hands in everything.
Quiet Riot was what got me. I was a really big 80s hair band metal fan.
Hey,
you would never know it now, but
they actually done a real good thing. And Rat is actually coming up to the distillery too.
Really?
And I don't know if you remember 69 Boys that sang Tootsie Roll and Let Me Ride That Donkey and different songs. They actually gonna be up at the distillery.
That's neat. We're going to check that out, team.
Also,
see us up there sometime,
She lives right next to it. You said Bristol?
We'll be there. I'm going to get some of those drinks.
Yeah.
I would like to maybe in the future, maybe us, if you want to, because you do have a lot of really valuable and invaluable items, maybe do an episode and kind of showcase some of them. Maybe we can do like something on site or, work something out that way. And then, I think that would be great because it'd be
a lot
kind
of people ask me, why don't I take, I go to these events and stuff and ask me, why don't I take my haunted items with me to events? I'm like, what if it makes Lucy mad? And I mean, I'm not going to say that she'd go pin somebody up against the ceiling, but what if some kid sitting there making fun of her and something really, really does happen? Yeah. I don't want it to be on me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be telling the person, hey, get that camera, get this on, record it.
I wouldn't want nothing to happen to a kid, but if it did pin somebody against the wall or something, I'd be like, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
But I wouldn't trust it around a big crowd because you never know the type of energy or how it's going to react. And people don't understand the seriousness of some of that stuff.
And I will not take her. I took Sally to Cott County Memorial Building with me. We had a bunch of different teams, and I took her. And that was the only time I ever took one of my haunted items because I do not want to take any of my haunted items and take it to a haunted location because what if my items messing with the investigation or something come into it and knock that spirit out that I got and then I bring it back home. And but I do this this might sound crazy, but I do, before I even bring them in my house, I have a long talk with them, and I leave them out in the vehicle and talk with them and say some stuff over top of them, and then I bring them in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you do an investigation, do you say any kind of protection to keep things from following you home or any type of attachments?
I mean, no. I mean, but if somebody wants to afterwards, then yeah, we can. But I can't really say I had an attachment. I can't say I have not had one because I was up at the shrine and I got sick for 3 weeks solid. Couldn't even move, couldn't even get off the couch. My dad had to come feed my dogs for me. And then I got in the shower and I was letting the shower water run over top of me, and I prayed a prayer and then I was good. But I can't say it was a virus that when it first hit out or if it was attachment. I don't really know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I do believe in attachments, but I believe it's more up here in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's different things that can attach to you.
Yeah.
So, and good Lord above is the only one that can take it away. I don't believe in sage, but if you want me to come in and sage your house, I'd do it, but I don't believe in it. All it is a old ancient witch thing they used to do, and it makes your house smell like burnt.
Yeah.
But if you ain't got the Lord on your side, you can't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Got anything else?
I don't. I just wanted to thank you again for coming on, and we've been able to meet so many neat people since we started this podcast, and you're another one, and we look forward to maybe meeting in person someday, you and Jeff. And I know Ron's had the privilege of meeting y'all, but we really would like to as well. And I appreciate all the advice you gave us and the knowledge, because I mean, your perspective is really a lot different and it's unique, and we appreciate that.
Well, I went to the Thomas house a couple months ago with Paranormal Trio, and they're a new team.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with this other team that's been doing it for 15 years. They looked at Alicia and told Alicia, said, "You can't be doing this because you don't have enough experience. I got more experience than you do." I said, "Hey, wait a minute. I don't care if you've been doing it a week, you've been doing it 20 years. Nobody is better than nobody.
Mm-hmm.
If I was better than you, then I would have a answer to all of this stuff." And so I don't look at no team or no person in this paranormal field better than anybody else, because that's what we out here doing. We trying to find out what the other side is about.
Right. And I don't know about you, but we've found that the deeper you go, the more questions you have.
Yep.
So you can never know it all.
But I mean, and next time maybe Jeff gets on here too. He's probably asleep because I ain't even seen him on Facebook.
That's the way it goes. Someone's usually a night owl and the other one's a morning person.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sorry I was late.
Oh no, don't worry about that.
Things happen. Like I said,
it's life.
Anybody that knows us in this podcast knows what we try to create. And I talked to you about this the other day. It's just a relaxing atmosphere. This is a little bit different than most typical podcasts. We're not unprofessional, but we're not like the suit and tie. We're just like, hey, we're your regular everyday people. We're no different than you or anybody else. We all have our different experiences and we all share a certain amount of knowledge, but we want to get the word out and, meet like-minded people. And when I went to Smoky Mountain, I knew those people around that done certain things, but I did not realize the magnitude of how many people around here actually are involved in this, because literally there were hundreds, and it blew my mind. I was like, this is here. This ain't all across the country. Mm-hmm. We're having hundreds. And I was like, wow, this is like a whole new ballgame. So it was really
I'm
cool.
actually one of the ones that got Smoky Mountain Terror started. And
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
Justin was doing the Hazard Fest. And I was like, Justin, if you do something paranormal and all this stuff, I said, man, you go make a killing at it. So he ended up dropping the Hazard Fest. Year before last was the last year of Hazard Fest, and he started the Smoky Mountain Terror. First year was down in Sevierville. This year was in Kingsport. So, and then he's having a smaller one September up at the distillery.
Oh, cool.
So, but he was like, man, I can't believe how. I said, man, we in the Bible Belt, but we still got a lot of
That's
crazy
right.
people in this area. And
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying before, I mean, back in the old days too, you had preachers' wives run and hide in the closet and play with their Ouija board and stuff. These days and times, people don't hide anymore.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's everybody's opening up a little bit more now.
And you know what got us started, I mean, on this whole paranormal journey was really, the women in our family, grandma, great grandma, they had all these superstitions and it just carried down, they just passed it down, that interest in all of that. So yeah, it's a very superstitious Bible Belt. I'll say that.
Yes, and nobody didn't really want you to know back in the old days that they was doing the stuff. No go hide. I mean, a lot of people go remodel these old houses and start tearing walls out, and find Ouija boards and this and that, the
Yeah.
walls and stuff.
Yeah.
They was hiding that stuff.
And another thing that is kind of a little bit off topic, you talk about witches and things like that. When people talk about witches, they think spells and different kind of home brews and stuff.
Yep.
I remember my grandmother; she would make what they call dough polices, and you would put different mixtures in them, and they would draw poisons or sicknesses or swellnesses or something like that out. That's the same thing,
Yep.
I remember getting bit on the hand by something, and it had to be a copperhead or something. And my hand swelled up to the point to where it looked like my hand was about to bust. I could not even lift it up with one hand. I had to lift from other. So my mom, she went and made a dough polis, and this thing weighed probably 50 pounds because it was like that thick.
Yep.
And she told me just to leave it on overnight. So I laid there and couldn't move my arm overnight, and I took it off the next day. And of course, it was messy. And clean up, but my hand was not swollen. There was no scars or anything, and it was perfectly healed the next day.
Yep.
Like nothing happened. I was like, and like you said, the old wives' tales and them telling superstitions and them telling us about all these haints and ooh, don't do that, your papa will get you or whatever. That's how they got all that started.
Yeah. And I used to, when I was younger, I used to have warts on my finger really bad, on every one of my fingers on my hand. And I had one of my best friends, he ended up committing suicide. And his sister, she done something on my hand. She was like, I'm going to say something over your hand and don't look at them warts. And the next day they'll be gone. She done something to however she done it. And next morning, all of my warts was gone. Ain't had a wart since.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know what she did. I can't ask her. She's passed away, but she wouldn't tell her secret anyway. But there's some people that can. I mean, I heard of somebody else that could do that. So it's, I guess, an old witch thing or some kind of power that you got.
Yeah.
And
more questions.
Yeah, more questions.
Yeah, like my mom. My mom, she actually seen my pastor of the church. She actually seen his kidneys shut down like 2 or 3 days before his kidneys shut down and about killed him. My mom seen it in a vision and told my aunt about it. And then 2 or 3 days later, Ken fell over because his kidney shut down and about killed him. And Ken was like, Mary, you ever see anything like that, you let us know.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that has always run in my family. Anyway, I appreciate y'all's time. Appreciate y'all having me on here. anytime y'all want to do it again, and y'all need to check Paranormal Trio out.
Okay.
They would actually be a good team for y'all to get. And the Ghost Sisters, Soul Sisters, and so y'all take care. And if y'all need anything, just holler, and I can send y'all some pictures over. I send that Hat Man over to y'all too.
Yeah, definitely. We want to
We might have
share.
to do a whole episode on him soon. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, the guy that I'm actually, if y'all type in Kevin Palmer, he's the one I've been helping.
Mhm.
And Kevin actually been studying a lot about the Hat Man. So
Oh,
he
that's
knows a lot
interesting.
about him.
Right. That's interesting. Huh.
But y'all take care, and God bless you all. And I'm going to jump off here.
All right. You take
Appreciate it,
care
buddy. Stay
too.
safe.
All right. Bye-bye.
Stay
Bye.
safe, buddy.
Well, guys, that was great. I mean, whoa, mind blown. Yes, that was a great episode.
What
That was cool.
episode.
Yeah, we'll be sharing more on our socials, of course, this week, and point you in the right direction so you can learn more about Outlaw Paranormal and all that they do. And I gotta find some of that moonshine.
I know it. I saw you eyeing it every time.
That was odd.
Oh, she's gonna get some of that.
Yeah, they had there's like two sections, because when I was there, he was set up here, and actually Jimmy was at the section that was doing the tasting, and Jeff was actually at the booth. And there was about 2 booths down from Joe Parrish, which hopefully will be a future guest. So I was sitting there talking to all them guys, and I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. And there was a lot going on. So that's kind of where I met them. And, again, and we actually, through other social, friends of friends, we actually was like, okay, yeah, so I know this person, that person. And we're like, oh, yeah, cool. So that's kind of how this came about.
But you didn't buy any moonshine.
Do what?
But you didn't buy any moonshine.
Well, I didn't buy any moonshine. I was focused on other things at that time.
Yeah.
Trying to, meet some more interesting people, get the word out, bring some interesting guests, because we're always thinking about bringing new material and new topics to our listeners. So, like I said, we behind the scenes, we all do some different work. Everybody contributes in their own way. So, and there's a lot more coming. So, just right here, this was a really great episode. It was kind of thrown together, but like I said, it come together really quickly, and it was a really great episode.
Yes,
so
it was.
make sure you guys contact us, with questions. We can reach out to Jimmy or any of our other guests. So,
yes.
yeah,
And they can, you can just feel free to send us an email at sirensofthesupernatural@gmail.com with any of your questions. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And Lindsay's got our email up there on the screen now, and we like listener stories. Hello.
You haven't gotten any in a little while, but
I know we love listener stories. We want to hear your stories out there, all our Appalachian neighbors, or if you're listening to us from anywhere, we would love to hear your stories. So just shoot us an email. It's not hard. We'll get your story, and if you'd like for us to read it on there, we'll do that. And if you want to remain anonymous, you can do that too. So we know a lot of people are interested in the paranormal and the supernatural these days, and we know you're out there. So send us your stories, and Lindsay, we'll let you share the social.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We are at Sirens of the Supernatural. And on TikTok, we are at Supernatural Sirens. And I think that's all we have, unless you guys have anything else.
I'm good.
All right. And as
Have a
always,
great week.
stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.